After all this activism, I have come to a point in my life after 7 decades of activism spanning into the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and all the way to now. I believe we're at a tipping point where we have the potential, because of weapons of mass destruction on the one hand and a globalized movement that has people everywhere on the planet linked up through cell phones and the internet, that we came to a point where humanity can actually deal with some of the challenges that are threatening the well-being of the planet and the well-being of the people on our planet. So in order to do that, I have decided my little niche in helping to turn it in a direction that is more peaceful, more just, and more healthful is really twofold. One is a recognition that the over 50% of the population of the planet are women, and that as long as women continue to suffer oppression and violence, and as second-class citizens in most countries, discriminated against and not being allowed to move into their full potential of what they're capable of doing to help make the planet a more peaceful, nurturing place, that something needs to be done about changing that dynamic. And the UN is involved as the leading international institution working on behalf of women's rights, gender equity, empowering women, guaranteeing that women have a significant part of being at the table when peace treaties are drawn up through Security Council resolutions that have been passed, and to free women from the oppression that they have suffered from patriarchal societies. I feel that in order for the planet to move in a healthy direction, it needs to have women in the leadership of that movement. The men won't do it. It's unfortunate that men are not out in the street demonstrating to save the 30,000 children that die every day that could be prevented, which is a program that the UN has, or to save the women that are dying in childbirth, or to save children who do not have access to universal education, or to save the many people that suffer, women disproportionately, from AIDS, TB, and malaria. The women are the water bearers, so when a country does not provide access to fresh water and toilets, it's the women that suffer. So, and when we're talking about women, you know, what are we really talking about? We're talking about our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, our partners or wives, whatever you want to call them. But we're talking about the people that are closest to us, whether we're men or women. So the continued oppression of women and the refusal to allow women to take charge, as it were, is perpetuating a patriarchal system that is involved in killing people and preparing to kill people, because that's what military budgets do. They spend a lot of money to prepare to kill people, and they keep doing it, you know. And right now we're spending more money in this country alone than all the countries in the world combined, just on figuring out strategies that we might have to kill people in the future. So I feel like one of the things that I can contribute toward is to help make that change by placing more humanistic things on the agenda of our country. Since we're the wealthiest country in the world, most powerful country in the world, I feel like we have a responsibility, since we are of that nature that is powerful and wealthy, to provide leadership for other countries and for people in our own country, to work toward creating a more humanistic, more peaceful, more nurturing society. So the little niche that I have decided upon for my own energy is to try to work with getting people in the yoga, meditation, and dance communities to register to vote. Now, I picked that community because, one, is a very low percentage of the people in that community who actually vote. Number two, it's a community that's predominantly female. That community, just the yoga and meditation community, is over 20 million people. The yoga community alone is over 16 million, mostly young women under 40 years old. And coming from where I come from as a senior, a grandfather, at my age, 77 years old, I look back on my own experiences and look back at the people that I've worked with and look at what's happening right now. I feel like if we can move a big chunk of that community to register and vote for a more peaceful world, that we could make a major change in this country. And that's not telling people that you have to vote Democrat or you have to vote Republican. It really doesn't make any difference in a sense, because if the people in our country feel that the most important thing to be on the agenda is the elimination of poverty and empowering women and getting kids into education, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, if that constituency is strong enough, then we could make that happen.